So, welcome to I Am Enough TV. Today is the first official day, and I'm super, super excited because I have one of my favorite people in the earth on this show today. And Michelle is here, and you are rocking your shirt, and I absolutely love it. Thank you so much for being here today.
Oh, I am so honored to be your first guest. I'm like, woohoo!
Yes, Michele Malo. Woo woo. As being the first official guest, I love it because not everyone that's going to be on the show has a shirt, and you have a shirt, and I'm super excited. And I just want to say thank you so much for supporting the movement. You've been phenomenal.
It's something that's super, super important and just lives near and dear to my heart. And anything I'm ever going to be able to do to support you, I'm going to do. And you know that, girl.
Oh, I love it. You're the best. And you're an amazing Amazon bestselling author and a speaker, and we all know a business expert, right?
That's right.
So excited. What's your first, I know you've written more than one book, right? Well, you're coming out with another book.
Yeah, actually, it was part of a compilation called Overcoming Mediocrity. And we're basically talked about a little bit about my story about overcoming weight gain and bullying when I was a kiddo and those sort of things. But that one piece of that book has actually springboarded me in my next book, which will be by myself. And it's super exciting. And I'm hoping it's coming out soon. It's called How to Lose 185 Pounds in One Day.
I love that title, How to Lose 185 Pounds in One Day. When you first told me about that, I was like, what? It's so catchy.
Well, I mean, quite honestly, everyone's like, well, how would you do that? It's like, well, the way you do that is by letting go of everything that's weighing you down. Because every day we have things, especially as women, that we hold on to, right? Yes. And whether it's toxic relationship or it's because a lot of people say, well, it's weight gain and all that. I'm like, a lot of that is symptoms of bigger things that we're really carrying around with us that we're never going to be able to be. Like I said, I'm your business accelerator, right? Yeah. But I almost think of it as like life acceleration, because when those two things come together and you realize that you are enough, that's when you step into your superpower. That's when you step into where you are supposed to be. And that's where you can collaborate and support and serve all the people around you who need to hear your message.
Yes. Couldn't agree with you more. And I just love your heart and your motivation. I know that you and I first met at the City Summit here in San Diego, right?
We did, yes.
And you live in Chicago. And I'm a Michigander, so we have so much in common. And I remember you spoke at that summit.
Yes.
And I was like, I really want to get to know that girl. And then I think I did a little speaking thing too. And then we just really connected. And I don't know if you want to, well, first of all, one of the things that I always ask on this show, and then I think it might be good to kind of just jump into kind of your story if you want to share that, because I know that we have our stories. And most of the people, like when I do different shows, I always ask, like, what does it mean to be enough? But as most people know, and I just told you too, I'm starting very early phases of starting my new book. And so I'm going to switch it up a bit, because what I want to do is use some of the quotes from my guests in my book. So the first question is, what does it mean for you to live in your strength?
Really what that is the opposite of not being fearful. Because there was so many times, and in all honesty, even being at the City Summit or at the Secret Knock or a lot of these, networking groups where such powerful, amazing people. And even though I was there, and even though I had this successful corporate career, I didn't feel like I was enough. I was fearful. I was like, I'd always come so close to finishing something and never actually finished it. And a couple of weeks ago, again, I had shoulder surgery and, just life in general, divorce, all that stuff. I had to do a pattern disruption
Mm-hmm.
because I was getting so far caught up into the victim mentality that there was no way I was standing in my strength. And I went very vulnerable and live. I mean, my mom was worried. She's like, "Are you okay?" I was like, "No," but I wanted folks to know, because a lot of times what you see on Facebook and whatnot is me doing all these different things and coaching people and speaking. And but we all have a place that comes from. And you have to be able to, like I said, step into that. So when I went away for a couple of days just to meditate and finish editing my book and things like that, I came back kind of kicking fear to the curb, so to speak, because all of a sudden I came back out, because as an only child, sometimes I go in, not sometimes, I go inward because I don't want to bother people, that kind of stuff. But what I found out is that I had the best network of people around me, friends and relationships. And what I do is to help people. So I needed to stand in where my power was, where my strength was, and to be able to help and get back into the game and really finish what I started. That to me was a little bit of a journey, and I'm still going through it, but that's why I'm so happy to be on your show, because this is one of those steps for me getting back into my strengths.
Oh my gosh, I love it. Absolutely amazing. It's such a amazing question. Yeah, and sorry, I lost my train of thought. I'm just I'm like totally listening to what you're saying and all of that stuff. And it's so powerful, and I love what people say about that, because when we live in fear, we literally lose every aspect of who we are. And I remember, when I was with my ex-husband, I was so terrified to leave him. I was very traumatized, and I didn't really know what was going on, but I was so fearful of leaving him. And I was ending up living this like mediocre life that literally I was just going through the motions. And on the outside, everyone thought I was okay, but on the inside, I was like dying.
Yes.
And I want to know, like, what really worked for you to kind of get past that stuck point and that fear?
There was actually an event that happened. So I was at Disneyland, happiest place on earth.
You love Disneyland. You were just there a little bit ago, right?
I know. I'm a Mickey. I'm a nerd. I am a 46-year-old, like 12-year-old.
Okay.
It just is what it is. But I actually had the opportunity, and I had been working for quite a long time, doing speaking and whatnot. And I was going to be speaking to over 2,500 people, international, on a stage at Disneyland. I mean, crazy. And there was that point that I knew, from a marriage perspective, he just didn't support it and didn't understand it, and actually made me realize at that point, one of the biggest opportunities of my life, I came back and I said we were done.
Wow.
Because I had been working in the people in that group, which a lot, which some of them, like Jeff Klubeck was a big
Love me some Jeff.
Right? Jeff is my Bubba. I'm telling you, he's a brother from a different mother, and he has so many times told me to get out of that energy, get out of that space. Not telling me what to do with my relationship, but what he was telling me was to step in and be happy and do what I deserve, and be with people who lift me up. And there was quite a few other folks at that event that gave me the courage. I always call my little Australian contingency, which is so funny because the one gal, Natalie, also calls the blonde bombshell, which is so weird because she was one of those that was with me, and Erna from New Zealand, and all these folks international, and all these people saw great things in me. So so I wasn't seeing it because I was, most of the time was someone who kind of always squelched that down.
Yeah.
So it got to a point when I saw, and I was like, holy crap, I was top 10 in that group. I killed it. And people to this day still, I saw your speech. And and I knew that I was in the right place. It gave me the courage to know I could rock this new career.
Yeah.
I can do this. And again, it took me a little bit of time, as you know, to because it's hard. It was 21 years. Okay, so
I can't even believe that. I did 6 years with my ex, and I give you props, girl. Seriously.
Well, and in all fairness, I don't want to say it was all bad, because there's a two-way street there, right?
Mm-hmm.
I'm the last one. I'm not going to. It was my fault that I should have. If I wasn't happy, I should have done something about it sooner. Because he's not an overall bad guy. He just is not really great at the relationship thing.
Mm-hmm.
And I should have done something sooner, but it was, again, that fear. And it was that fear of making a decision knowing it would have been over, making a decision knowing that now I'm going to rock this new thing, coaching, all of that, walking away from my MBAs, and not really walking away from it. You always have the experience of your past for the journey, right? So it just you gotta just do it. And again, working through finishing things and listening to people, because Shannon Parsons is another one of my absolute favorite people.
Yes, love me some Shannon too.
Oh, Shannon is absolutely amazing. And she said something to me on the phone a couple days ago, and she said, because things are really starting to click right now, and she said to me, she goes, I want you to stop, listen, and take in what people are telling you. Mm-hmm. She goes, don't brush it off. Don't do anything. She goes, you affect people and you help people, and listen to them when they tell you. And that is totally not the quote, but it was along those lines. And I sat there and I was like, holy shnikes. She's right.
Yeah.
So, So like I said, it's a lot of different things. And, Miss Jenny Dumich, just all these folks. Anytime I'm down, I just gotta reach out, and that's what I hope, because people do that to me, and I hope I provide that for them too. So
I love it, because one of the things that I love to talk about is our strength tribe. I'm all about being enough and our strength and all of that stuff. And I love that you kind of already touched on it, because of all the people that you were talking about, the people that literally are there to build you up and keep you in that strength rather than tear you down and keep you stuck. And I think that that's a huge lesson for anyone that is trying to transition from maybe something that's traumatizing, or whether it be health, career, relationship. Maybe they're just trying to jump into entrepreneurship or figure out a different career. That's one of the biggest things that I had to learn, was the fact that, like, I had to get rid of that toxicity, whether it be people, certain people, or what I was thinking.
Yes.
Because that is a huge thing. And I know I had to learn to be more in my mind, which is why I loved what Shannon said to you, because so many times people will say something so nice about us, but why can't we believe it?
Right.
Right. And so, I love that, because that makes us be in our mind more to really, it's what we call reality test as therapists. I love doing reality testing with your thoughts. And so I want to ask you, when you get into that negative space, because we all do, and you find yourself, saying those negative things, like whatever, it's I'm not enough, or I can't do this, or whatever, what helps you get out of that space, out of that mindset?
Generally, I go for a walk.
Yeah, good.
Like I just, whatever I'm doing at that point, because it's going to be not productive. Let's just call it a spade a spade. Yep. It's not going to be productive. I'll either go for a walk, or I will honestly sometimes just be still and work on something, or come to something that I know is going to give me, it's where my heart is, work on something so it's not email, it's not scrolling through Facebook, but it's actually something that I know is going to bring me to a better place, or really is reaching out to a few people. And I have to tell this story, if you don't mind.
Oh my gosh, go ahead, girl.
Dr. James, right? Dentley?
Oh, yes, of course.
Okay.
Yeah.
So Dr. Dentley, we were at a Think and Grow Rich event here in Chicago. And I was in the heart of my woe is me thing. Okay. And this isn't that long ago, where again, I don't like to bother people. So instead, like, I didn't go to networking groups. I wasn't going to, and even things I paid for, I was like, we'll do that the next time around. I just wasn't in the right mind, in the right space, right? To give it, I don't know what I'm doing now. It's all the self-doubt. And Dr. James literally pulled me out, and he goes, girl, where have you been? I go, just dealing, some health stuff, ripped my shoulder, and he looks at me, he goes, meet me at lunch. And after that, I talked to him, and he's like, not on my watch.
Yeah.
Literally not on my watch.
Mm-hmm.
And now I'm partnering with him. He's coming to speak at the Frequent Knock. But that was a disservice to myself, because I wasn't allowing him in.
Mm-hmm.
And he had more than a few times put out and his wife, Cara, I'll help you, come talk to us, come to our, this and that. And I was just like, no, or just all kinds of different things. So that's why it's like, sometimes you got to watch for your angels.
I love that.
And respond, people want, if you're genuinely a good person, people want to help you. So to get out of those things, you need to be aware in the moment to see where those blessings are going to come from.
I absolutely love that, because I think it's so amazing when there's an aspect of being vulnerable, and being authentic that has to come into this whole piece of it. And it just goes back to, like, when you surround yourself with good people, they're able to pull that out of you. And, even though you might not feel 100% comfortable, I know for me, being vulnerable has been what has excelled my career. I mean, I've been in this entrepreneurship thing for just a year and a half, if you can believe it. I know, girl, right?
God, you're soaring, girl. Look at you. Woo!
Well, I feel like I'm kind of on a little flatbed right now, but it's good. I'm excited. But
see, now don't do that. Do not discount.
I know. I'm excited. I'm changing that mindset, but it's been a crazy ride. And, like, if I wasn't vulnerable and I, thought I couldn't do this, I never would have met you. I never would have. I mean, we were on the red carpet at LA at the Wishman, girlfriend. I mean, like, if you would have told me that a year and a half ago, I would have been like, what? Like, no way. Right. And, like, the Oscar gala and just all of this. And so I think, like, I guess one of the things I want to ask from you is, like, what has been, because you've been in this business entrepreneurship world for how long?
About 8 years.
8 years.
Yeah.
What has been one of the biggest lessons personally for you in this journey of rediscovering yourself, launching this business, having to probably relaunch and rediscover yourself over the 8 years? What has been the biggest lesson for you?
You need to be able to improvise, adapt, and overcome.
Ooh.
Because
listen to that, girl. I love it.
Because when I left corporate, the reason I left corporate was the fact that, I've had health weight issues my whole life. I was over 310 pounds at one point in my life.
Mm-hmm.
And, I struggle. Again, everyone can tell how my life's going based on my weight. It's no hiding it. But I left to be a personal trainer. I actually have 10 different health certifications, because I thought my mission was to help middle-aged women like myself to continue to live their best life, so that they could just soar and be happy and sparkle. And that a lot of folks and they're done. Like, you're not done, having adventures. But then what I came to find out is that was just a piece of it. And then I went to the point where I was like, well, I'm a marketer. I ran Fortune 500 marketing divisions for Kraft and Kellogg's. And I was like, I went to talk about that. But what I found out is you got to listen to those around you. And so when I would get up on stage and I'd come down, people would talk to me, and they would want to know how I lost the weight. They wanted to know how I left a high level corporate career. and how I'm surviving leading a 21-year relationship. Not once did they ask me about, how, nutrition or this or that, or wanted to know if I could fix their marketing plan. Like that has never come up once. It's always been that I've connected with them on a very, very personal level. And that's because when people ask what my superpower is, when I really thought about it, it was that I could connect with someone, listen and see the root of what's happening. And sometimes I feel bad because I'll see Facebook and I'll read a post and I'll see right through the post and I feel like a little, I'm a little,
try being a therapist, girlfriend.
Yeah, I'm like, I don't mean to be intrusive, but are you okay? What's behind that? And that's how we figure out why a lot of times businesses aren't going forward or they're having trouble not losing. So all those things that are the symptoms are generally because they're treating symptoms and not a problem, and they're not open enough, or they're not even sure what that is. And so once I figured that out, I knew that my story was my brand. And that is how I'm going to help change people one person at a time, by listening and being empathetic and non-judgmental and someone that is like a family member too, so that we can move you forward. That was the biggest aha. And I think that's even because I believe in everything happens for a reason, the energy of the universe. And so even though I said I didn't finish things, I actually think I didn't finish some of those things because it wasn't quite right yet.
Yeah.
So.
You know what I have tattooed on my arm right here?
What is it?
Everything happens for a reason.
See? Well, bam!
Bam! No, I love this. I can totally, relate to everything you just said. And I love that you just said what you did. Like, you have to listen to what the people around you are telling you.
Yes.
Like, how incredible is that? Because you could still be here, like, fluttering around trying to figure out your life by doing the nutrition thing, when you just sat and listened to what people were saying about you. And obviously then you believed in what they were saying, right? Because here you are today, so successful. Before we kind of wrap up here, I know there's two things. I want you to, again, quick mention the book and the title and all of that stuff. And then the amazing event that's happening in Chicago with some of our mutual favorite people.
So the book, hopefully will be out. And anyone's an author out there, you're like, hopefully.
I know.
Looking, back half of Q4, it's called How to Lose 185 Pounds in One Day, One Decision at a Time. And so really excited about exploring everything from perfectionism to toxic relationships, to being careful, because I'm all about the relationships with folks. But be careful who you put your trust in sometimes, because there are some people out there that they're in it to win it for themselves. And
well, I'm going to be honest, because everyone that knows me knows I'm honest and authentic and real. And I don't care about saying this on Facebook Live, but I have met, like I said, I've been in this for a year and a half, entrepreneurship. And I have met so many people like that. And it's disheartening, right? It's disheartening. And there were points where I was like, I can't do this. Right. But then we remained, true to our message, that it's remaining authentic and real. And that's one of the things I love about you, is because you're in it for the right reasons.
Oh, and if I can help folks not make the same mistakes, because I lost quite a bit of money, but that's not the focus, because the group I'm with now, right? That, Dr. Gregory, Dr. James, Ryan, Shannon, Jeff, all these guys, I was like, wow, I wish I had met you first.
Yeah.
But I wasn't in a place to have met them first. Manny Lopez introduced me. I was like, how did you get here? I'm like, well, let's follow the 6 degrees of separation.
People ask Manny Lopez.
And I'm just like, there's that. And so there's just so many people. But again, if I hadn't done what I did, where I literally showed up at a seminar 2 years ago. This is when I was still, because just 2 years me doing what I'm doing now. Because I was doing the whole personal training thing, right? And I had a very successful full thing. And I was like, but no, that's not right still. And that's like I said, that is the biggest thing is being able to understand and my mantra is don't be jaded. Okay.
That was my last question. Don't be.
I know.
Like, what's your favorite mantra and affirmation? What does that mean? Don't be jaded.
Well,
for you.
Well, what it means to me is things are going to happen. There's going to be icky, because that's a real technical term, but that's what I feel in my stomach. Is sometimes you're like, wow, I just went somewhere that gave me the, especially as women, we have an intuition. Listen to it, because we're generally correct.
So 100% correct. Our intuition is everything.
It's everything. And like I said, if I had been jaded and said, screw it, I'm going back to corporate, and trust you me, there's still moments that I'm like, this entrepreneur thing's hard, full disclosure.
Right.
But then I came to realize, but no, I'm in the right group now. And the fact that Secret Knock, right, the one of the coolest events ever, and it's like, well, people have never heard of it. I'm like, because it's a secret. And
I have to say, I've never been to Secret Knock, but I am going to Secret Knock Women, and I was at Frequent Knock here in San Diego. So yeah, sorry, I had to cut you off on that, but I'm super excited for Secret Knock Women for sure.
I'm still there.
You are?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, that's amazing.
Super excited, but those people in that group, just like you said, they're bringing it local. So I'm hosting the thing in Chicago on September 19th, and the whole idea is service and collaboration. We want to turn networking on its head, because this is where you have relationships. It's not me throwing a business card at you. It's not me giving you a title and an elevator speech. One of the big things that like Dr. Greg does is, like for authors, you get to stand up and talk about like your mission in your book. And then you give them, because again, your book is to give them away, to get your message out there so you can help more people. So I'm doing that for Chicago. I'm giving the Chicago authors that opportunity here with Frequent Knock, and Dr. James is speaking. And then Jenny is coming in, and we're doing an interview, and Shannon's going to be there, and Klubeck, going for the jugular, not the jugular, right?
Right.
He's going to talk about, how to not be commission brats, and don't be creepy. Be you. Unless you are creepy, then I don't want you there. No, I'm kidding.
No, we don't want you there. No. So when is Frequent Knock in Chicago? So
Frequent Knock will be in Chicago. It's actually in Oak Brook, which is a suburb of Chicago, on September 19th from 5 p.m. to 9. And it's, like I said, one of my clients, who's an ex-American Idol, is going to come and sing a few songs, because you know how it is. It's eclectic. We got authors, got Dr. James, got Jenny talking health and wellness, interviews, games, music, food.
That's amazing.
So
very cool.
It's, and by the way, it's only like $30, because we don't want it. Yeah, because we don't want it to be. It's not about cost; it's just about covering it. It's about bringing these people together, because the money comes through the connections, right? And it's not about me getting, as you hear, the 197, the 2, you know what I mean? The whole seminar thing.
Yeah.
Like I said, be careful. And that is the one last thing I'll say is, before you ever do anything and go to all these things, a lot of these people will say it is a one-time offer. You got to sign up now. Don't do it. Because I'm going to tell you, my message. Thank you, Oprah. Research it before you go. Check the websites, talk to people. You can go and get information, because I'm going to tell you right now, you will get an email or a phone call extending the offer if you really want to do it.
Yeah.
Right. But do your research first. Don't do what I did and like sign on the line. Again, no regrets, but again, it would have saved me a lot of money if I had done a little bit more research than going with emotion. So I'm
so glad. Yeah, I'm so glad you said that, because like I said, in the last year and a half doing this, I have done that and have gotten taken advantage of. And now, I'm just partnering and surrounding myself with people that I get a good vibe from, right? So I'm speaking on stages all over the country, and, going to these, like I said, a year and a half ago, I would have been like, what are you talking about? Like, I didn't even know what any of this stuff was. I had just, left corporate America and jumped into this. And so, you're living proof, I'm living proof that when we truly believe that we're enough, no matter if we have days where we don't, that's okay. We know how to get out of it. If we truly believe in that and we really know what our passion and our purpose is,
yes,
life is going to just show up for you. I mean,
yes.
it's the people are going to show up for you. And
yes.
why I'm doing this show is because I want to give people that encouragement that although I'm known as the I'm enough girl, there are days where I am just like, I can't
I've had
do
enough.
Yeah, I've had enough, Today I saw patients for 7 hours and technical difficulties on my side for this and like all this other stuff that's going on. And it's just like, I can't do this. And then I was like, wait a second. No, I can do this. It's just, you're tired, right? It's okay. You're tired. You've been with patients all day. It's fine. And, just having to find those tools for us to get back on track. And I just want to say thank you so much for all that you do, for taking me into this entrepreneurship world. And, City Summit was one of the first places that I spoke at. And I literally walked in and I hadn't even met Michele in person.
Yeah.
And so I walked in and they put me on the stage and then I met you and Katarina and like so many other people. And that was my first event that started this snowball thing like a year ago. And it's just been incredible. So thank you for believing in me and supporting the movement and the shirt and everything. It means so much to me.
Well, it's like I said, absolutely my pleasure. You're a shining light. Like I said, I wanted to help people sparkle.
Yeah.
And
I love it.
laughed at that. I was like, I just felt you immediately. And if we can help, the more people we can help. And not even just women, like I said, our righteous brothers out there, like all the gentlemen, they need to know that too, because they struggle also. So I always want to make sure that this is an inclusive thing, that we're all helping each other in this, whether you're in corporate or wherever you're trying to do, just reach out to people. Again, listen to what they have to say, listen to your gut. And again, just do your research, because you are worth invest. I'm not telling you not to invest in yourself. Just do it with a little bit of thought and use your instincts and be smart about it, because then you will do exactly what you're meant to do, and hopefully not take as long as I did.
It's okay. It doesn't matter how long it takes, right? Like there's no time frame. And I'm glad that you mentioned the men too, because with the movement and the things that I talk about too, I always talk about not feeling enough, whether it be your health, career, relationships, what have you, and the movement is reaching guys. I have lots of men clients that I see that I work on about this same thought process, and also kids. I did a Facebook Live last week encouraging people to order the cards to give to kids, because now that school's back in session, like these poor kids, like people are, I've already seen, I saw a post this morning about someone posted how a girl at school told her daughter that she wasn't going to be as pretty as she was. And it's like, hello, school just started, like, and so it's literally the movement, the being enough. We all struggle with it. And we all need that help. So I'm really glad that you said that too, because it's not, although the shirts and the movement is everything is purple, but we all need help with that. So
hey, men can rock the purple.
They totally can. They totally can. So will you put the link to Secret Knock or Frequent Knock in the comments when we get done, just in case people that want to join? And then how can people get in contact with you if they want to chat more, if they just want to get to know Michele?
Yeah, I mean, probably the best way to connect is like a Facebook Messenger. So I'm Michele Malo, or Your Business Accelerator. But and I'll put my email if folks want to just drop me a note. I'm happy to do that, because Greg says that a lot is you need to be accessible, right? And for the first time, I actually feel like I have something that I can offer, and I want to be as accessible as possible for anyone who needs even just an ear.
Yeah.
So we can help. And, like I said, I'd love them to come to the event and see what this network, and I hate to even say this, like I need to find another fun word for it. That's not that, but just this.
Your strength tribe.
Yeah, right. Strength tribe. There we go.
I'll let you take it.
That.
Even though it's copywritten, I'll let you take it. No.
I'll give you a byline.
No, but that's exactly what it is, right? Like
it is.
And that's what, my new book is going to be on, is like the strength, like how do we live in that? And one of the things is strength tribe, whether it be networking people, right? Like people that we meet in our business, or friends or family or whatever. It's whatever keeps you strong. So you can totally have that, girl.
Oh, well, you're part of my strength tribe, so it's kind of
I know. You're part of mine too, seriously. Thank you so much for joining me. I love seeing your face, and I miss you. You're all the way across the country. I'm speaking. I should tell you this. Well, I'll tell you this now, but then I'll tell you off air. In Indianapolis in November.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
not far.
I know.
Let me know. Okay.
That would be so fun to see you. I'll be visiting my family in Michigan too, but for sure. So I hope the event goes well. And thank you again so much for joining me and just sharing your heart and all that you've accomplished. You are such an inspiration.
Oh, hon, thanks so much. And thank you for allowing me to be your first guest.
And thanks for rocking the shirt, girl. I love it.
Of course. Absolutely.
Yes. All right. Thank you so much. And everyone else out there, have a great Thursday. Make sure you go out there and share the love with people of being enough.